Hey guys, what is up? This is Christian here and for Eonic Gaming, and this is actually the first Eonic Enlightenment. Not the one I wanted to do on the certain game, but it's fine. So, give you guys what an Enlightenment is. It's me giving my opinion or my thoughts on a particular subject or problem that has happened in game design that I just feel I want to talk about or address. And as you can see in the video, or from either the title or what's on the screen, it's FNAF World. My God, FNAF World. What happened? And I'm not alone. I have pretty much somebody else here who will agree with me on a lot of the things I've talked about, and that's Mr. P. We work together on a channel called Depraved and Different Gaming, and yeah, oh my God, what the fuck happened?
Hey everybody. Right off the bat, I'm gonna just say I haven't played this game. Chris here has, but just by looking at it, I know that this isn't a horrible game, and I've seen all the reviews and everything people have said about this game, and it just makes me so upset.
Mm-hmm.
I get so upset when I see how angry people get at this game for no reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the biggest problem that we think we've come up with that has to be the big reason is the fandom first. We know that Five Nights at Freddy's, just like every other game that has ever come out, blew up with its fandom.
Of course. This happens with a lot of games, and we're no strangers to it. I mean, if you guys saw the first Undertale video, I mentioned that games have fandoms, and I hate to say it, but Five Nights at Freddy's has one of the worst fandoms. It really does.
Yeah. So when Five Nights at Freddy's 4 ended, and then Scott showed the thank you letter or thank you picture, and then it later evolved into FNAF World, I will say I did not think FNAF World was going to be accepted at first because cute characters in an RPG using the FNAF scary characters. My thought was, Scott, what are you doing? And then I'm reading all these things from people. Oh my God, Scott, you're a genius. That was how fast my mindset changed because as a designer, I saw what he was thinking. What else could he have done with these characters? Nobody was liking the other two FNAF games, so why would you create FNAF 5? That would have been pointless. So, good.
Now you mentioned them being done in this cute style, and personally, I really enjoy that. I always liked when I go online and I'd happen to see fan art through my various tendrils that I have in all my web sites I go to, and I'd see people drawing them as cute things, doing not so cute things. So that's another thing that really appeals to me with this game, and the fact that people don't like that really bothers me. I mean, that was one of the core things about the game, is that children loved them and looked at them as these cute, adorable things, and that's why they were creepy, because you grew up and you didn't see them as cute anymore. That's what's the beauty of this game. You're looking at them as a child would look at them.
Agreeable, yeah. Now, let's address the big problems that I will talk about. When it comes to game design, there are three major things that make a game good. Graphics, gameplay, and story. At most, those three things are what holds a game together. Now, let's judge it right now. The graphics of FNAF World, do they look bad?
No, they don't, and I will say it's kind of garish looking with all the things that are happening on the screen, but personally, I like that. There's not a whole lot of games where a bunch of things are happening, and sometimes too much is a problem, but I think this is seeing how the game is, where when you're in the overworld, things are kind of muted and subdued. When you're in the battle screen, things are garish, everything's moving, and there's flashes on the screen and everything. I actually kind of like that.
Now, for my opinion on that, I will say that this thing looks really good, well done. I mean, everything looks exactly like it should exist in this universe, and the moves, I love all the graphics and everything. And I'll also say, I don't have the best computer, so even though OBS is being a pain in the ass sometimes, everything still works perfectly fine, and you see what's coming out. Now, this graphics example with the map world, I did look into the trailer, and I saw that in the trailer, it was Freddy on the actual Freddy character on the main map. But then I was like, that would have been kind of bad, honestly, because when I look at this, I remember the Atari mini games that were in the FNAF games, and I'm like, why wouldn't Scott use those? And now seeing this, I'm like, Scott, good job, good idea.
Yeah, I mean, it is a good idea. I mean, he's taking something that he already had and is just kind of using it to his advantage. I think it's very clever, and it's a great way to do the map and how to navigate the zones in the game.
Yeah. Now, I will say, yes, the movement is a little finicky, but that's normal out of a lot of RPGs. Sometimes they don't move very well. So, I mean, if it's finicky, it's finicky. That's what you have to do.
That's just the game.
Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the story. Everybody has said that this game has no story. Seriously? Do you not understand what that fucking Fredbear character is?
I mean, the fact that people are saying that about a FNAF game is appalling. The fact that there are so many secrets, even hidden in Five Nights at Freddy's 1, there's so many secrets and so many little things to pull apart in that game. In fact, people are saying that about this game is very bad. I mean, this is a game where there's so many hidden things that they just put into the game. And they're saying, oh, there's nothing in here. You're not trying. All the other FNAF games, you had to try to do. I mean, all the infamous true ending to Five Nights 3, how hard that is to get because of all the secrets you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding me?
Yep.
And then they're bitching about it for this? I'm sorry, no.
Yeah, and you brought up the thing about FNAF 1, how it had all the secrets. I hope people remember something about FNAF 1. It didn't have a fucking story!
Barely.
No, there was no story!
Well, FNAF 1 is based off of an actual murder case. It is,
No, it was, but here's the thing.
Yes.
It didn't have a story until...
It didn't...
Actually, I'll admit one thing. It didn't actually have a story until game theorists actually
gave it a story, yes. Yes.
That's the part that makes makes this franchise better.
All those... I mean, it's a game for the fans where you can just basically make up whatever you want by looking at evidence there, where the evidence is just vague enough.
Mm-hmm. Now, to address, since you haven't seen Fredbear and everything, with the Fredbear character, he's giving you pretty much the story. Now, take it with a grain of salt. This is how simple the story is. Something evil has entered our world, Freddy. Can you please go deal with it? Thank you. That's the most of the story. The little bits you have to get are what Fredbear is talking about. Now, this is something I learned thanks to GT Alive, another game theorist, surprisingly enough. They were talking about how they found the Fredbear glitch out, and funny enough, no one found that except for them. So that was something that I was like, good job, GT. I'm surprised somebody actually found something that nobody found at first. And what that one was doing was it was talking about some kind of puppet master who's controlling the game, and you need to fight them, which I still don't know who it is. I've never figured it out. And that's Five Nights. That's exactly what we wanted. But yet nobody, I guess, had the patience to figure this out.
I mean, even seeing some of the loading screens like that, the Funtime Foxy there, that's super cryptic. I mean, everyone's like, oh, it's too cute and stuff. That's a super cryptic thing that seems kind of out of place with the style of the game. And even looking at the enemies, I mean, there's something wrong here, and people are complaining about the wrong things.
Mm-hmm.
They really are, and it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, because we've talked about this, how Scott has taken the game off of Steam and is reworking on it simply because of how angry the fans were at him. I mean, why? This was made for the fans,
mm-hmm.
and I don't understand why all the fans hate it. I maybe I'm not in touch with people. That is a possibility.
Mm-hmm. Now, the final thing we're going to talk about before I go into a bigger rant on it is we're going to talk about the gameplay. Now, yes, like that example, that's a good example, but the gameplay. Everybody complains about this game's gameplay because it's an active battle system that pretty much the only game I can think of off the top of my head is Final Fantasy XIII whenever I think of this system. Now, here's the thing. I like Final Fantasy XIII. I'll say this right now. If you don't like it or you want to tell me what's wrong with it, there's a comment section down there. Go ahead and have fun.
It looks like just normal Final Fantasy, though. I mean, I haven't played Final Fantasy 13. I guess I'm not super interested in modern Final Fantasy, but it does look like just a normal Final Fantasy, and you can just switch out between two parties mid-battle.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to feel about that because I haven't played the game, but it does look like it just gives you enough options, and the fact that there are so many characters, it's really the only way for you to be able to try them all out and see which ones you like.
Now, the biggest thing I heard about is that people were saying, well, they give us all these characters with all these moves, but I don't know what they do. What? Seriously? You didn't take the time to do the normal thing that every RPG has ever taught you.
To read.
Not even just to read. Put that person on your team.
And try it out. Yeah, just try it out. I mean, but I don't know. People are really weird when it comes to this game where they want... It's the most bizarre thing when I've seen with a game like this where people love pulling apart these games and now they want just everything handed to them. I don't know what to say. I mean, it's all four games where you have to kind of piece things together and there's mystery and there's intrigue and that was the appeal to the game. And now there's a game with probably the biggest mystery in the series and no one wants it.
Mm-hmm. See, you can't say the battle system's broken. You can't say that the battle system's terrible because in reality, it's just like other battle systems. They give you 3 moves, and even here's the best part. They color code them. Did any of you ever look at the colors? Guess what? I'll use a good example. Cupcake in the move is a pink color. Do you know what pink symbolizes in this game? Healing. Oh my god. How would I have thought pink meant healing? Pink is, a light, fluffy color. Usually means nice. Where, like, red is a dangerous color. And guess what they attach to red? All the dangerous moves. Oh my god. This is stuff that you need to actually look at as a gamer. Don't just bitch at the move. You can't tell what it does. You can see me in this, even though I played this game, whether I knew what the mover did or not, I look at the color and go, oh, it's black, status effect. Oh, it's green, buff. I know just by looking at some of the moves, I can tell what they do. And that's the other thing about it. I'm so used to the active battle system that if anything exists, it just irritates me when people say that the active battle systems are terrible. They're made to make you no longer sit there and think, but more think on your feet. You're being hit repeatedly. What are you going to do? Are you just going to stand there and keep getting hit, or are you going to fight back?
I don't know. I've played very few RPGs with active battle systems. I have played one of the Tales games, and it wasn't bad, and I played a little bit of Chrono Trigger. Active battle systems aren't bad. I mean, we talk about how the creepy... look at this. This is super creepy and sinister.
And like I said, this was found on GT Live. This is just me because I now know this. So, even though, we're bringing back the story, this is something nobody knew about, and yet everyone bitched that the game was terrible. Seriously?
I mean, I don't know. But I mean, back to active battle. Active battle is not a problem. It is, however, something you need to get used to.
Mm-hmm.
Active battle systems they're kind of hard to get used to. I will freely admit that. It's something I wasn't used to, and it can give you trouble at first, but by the time you'll get used to it pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Active battle is no problem unless you're too stuck up in your ways about games. That's the beauty of playing video games, though.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many games, and there's so many different ways to play games, and it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah. Now, let's address something that I want to talk about where the gameplay, where people were complaining. They were complaining about something called an enemy spike in this game, where enemies just seem to overpower you and just deal stupid damage.
A difficulty spike.
Here's the thing. No, they don't. Here's why I know this. Every time I was watching people play this game and they were walk into an area and, oh my god, this enemy is dealing 100 damage. I look at their level. They're like level 10. Or the worst part, they just put a new character on their team, and that character took the 100 damage. Have anybody ever played an RPG and knew the one factor that if you're weak and you're in an area where stuff is not weak, you take a lot of damage?
Well, it's as simple as this. Classic Final Fantasy. I mean, we're probably going to be bringing up stuff like Final Fantasy a lot in this, but I was playing Final Fantasy IV a while ago. That is I'll just kind of say it's kind of an old school RPG, and when you get to a new area, it kind of kicks your ass. That's what new areas do. And what you do is you simply go back and you do some leveling, or you tough it out. I actually did both.
Mm-hmm.
And that's simply what you do in RPGs. You tough it out, really. I mean, It's not that hard, but like I said, people just want everything now. They don't want the challenge that this kind of game gives, because it's a different kind of challenge than the other Five Nights games. Not to say that they were easy, but it's a different kind of challenge where it's different.
Yes.
This game is too radically different, and they have nothing to compare. A lot of people who are playing this have nothing to compare it to, or what they're comparing it to is not appropriate.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, like, here's two things that I think of when I play this game. I think of Final Fantasy, whether it's 13 or whatever number, it doesn't matter. And the second thing, I think of Pokemon. And when I think of Pokemon as an example is when you get the teammates. As many people complain, the teammates are so fucking random, you'll never know who you're going to get. That's kind of the same in Pokemon. The only thing that you actually can cheat and do is look it up on the internet. Oh, wait, you can do the same thing in this game, too.
Well, it's simple. With Pokemon, though, there are certain things for certain areas. Now, keep in mind, I'm going to ask this question because I haven't played the game before. Are there only certain characters you can get in certain areas?
From what I've seen, you can get, I think, every character in every area, but I know the thing is certain characters have bigger chances
in certain areas. Okay, that makes a little more sense. I mean, because it's as simple as using Pokemon as an example. Route... Okay, I'll use Viridian Forest. Everyone knows Viridian Forest if you played the classic Pokemon games. That's where you can catch Caterpies and Weedles and maybe a Pikachu if you're lucky.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot catch those things in, say, Mount Moon.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's as simple as that. I mean, but kind of getting off topic because we're talking about Pokemon right now.
But it's a good example of what we're talking about. So, I mean, like, that's a good example. I mean, even like these power-ups, these are just simple power-ups that they give you just because the game kind of needed it. I mean, Scott was smart with some of the stuff that he does, like those little extra attacking things. They're just extra attacks. There's what you're supposed to plan out. I mean, the area we're in right now is one of the areas I was talking about where the difficulty spikes. Yeah. Let's actually take a few minutes and see what happens to me in this. Oh, look, I'm not actually dying. Except for that I did have a glitch where my characters disappeared for some fucking reason. Yeah, I don't know why.
Someone's missing there.
Yeah, it's a weird glitch that was happening. But look, I'm taking a lot of damage, but then I'm managing.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what you're supposed to do in this game, though. I mean, like I said, I just don't understand people's problems with this game where they complain about how bad it is, when really I do see kind of a masterpiece. This is the crowning achievement for the Five Nights at Freddy's, and I just get a sense of bringing everything to full circle into completion with this game. I mean, but that's just me.
Hmm? Yeah, now this is more for you because you love the sound design. Like I said, sound design is not a crucial part, but it does build, especially like RPGs. The sound in this game is actually really well done, and I really think that the way they did it, it works. I mean, I know, what was it? I know it was Family, but like Five Nights at Fuckboys, that jokey game they made.
Yes.
That thing had a really cool soundtrack, but it was made in RPG Maker. This game really does a really well job of like giving you specific sounds, and like moves have certain sounds to where you can tell what was each thing. And I heard someone complain saying that the sounds in this game sound like generic RPG sounds. It's kind of hard to make different sounds also for an RPG, you know.
when there's so many RPGs, and RPGs kind of just borrow a bunch of things from each other. I mean, you are right. I mean, that's something hard to do. And really, why does it matter?
Yeah. Stuff like that should never matter in a new game. I mean, if you're borrowing mechanics from another game, that's because you're trying to use that for inspiration, help, anything. So, outside of all that, what else do we really think killed this game? What do you think really, to you, thinks that made this game just got caught and said, I have to remove this from Steam?
I mean, I already said it, but like I said, it's the fans. It's the fans that have really destroyed this game, because like I said, when I look at this game, I see really something really beautiful and something with a lot of potential and something that you can really have some fun with. And I guess that's just something people don't want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, I like the fact that you did say the fans, because you see, fans of any franchise are important. It tells you that the game made some very good change or very good choices. It got people interested and it got people to go crazy about it.
I mentioned it because I mentioned Undertale, but Undertale is a very good example of fans kind of killing a game.
Mm-hmm.
It's a game. Undertale is a game that it is. I talk about it in my video, but those of you who haven't watched it, Undertale is a very stylistic game. It is mimicking the style, or not mimicking, but kind of emulating the style of game that is Earthbound.
Mm-hmm.
Earthbound being very iconic. It is very iconic in just about everything. And the fact, and then people go and say it's almost exactly the opposite of what happened with FNAF World here, where people keep saying Undertale is the greatest game ever made and how original it is and everything, when Undertale is actually just an homage. Sure, it does a lot of original things, but even the soundtrack, not every song in the soundtracks are original. There's a certain group of people, I'm going to just say people who have read the webcomic Homestuck will recognize a lot of the songs in it, because it's made by the songs were made by the same person.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the things that they do in it are kind of references to other things, or jokes about other things. And I'm going to talk about some of these things because I'm sorry. The internet exists, and I've been spoiled on things. Like, there's a moment where you can keep buying things, and if your inventory runs out, what happens in other RPGs? It says you can't get something, and you throw it away, or it can't stack anymore. Well, it stacks,
Mm-hmm.
and they stack it on top of your head, because where else are you going to put it? But, I mean, the fact that they say something like that, where it's two games that are actually kind of trying to accomplish the same thing, and such a huge gap between the reactions.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both RPGs, and both are doing these really just wonderful, wonderful things, and this game isn't getting the love it deserves.
Yeah. Now, I will also say, in the future, I do have a video I'm planning for Undertale, so surprise, spoiler, there's a video later, but we'll talk more about Undertale.
Yes, we'll talk about Undertale later. But I mean,
the biggest thing I wanted to bring up about why the fans, I think, really just destroyed this game, no one gave it a chance. No one legitimately gave this game a chance. FNAF, FNAF 2, FNAF 3, and FNAF 4. All four of them, to me, are pretty bland. But guess what? I know that the fans love each game. I'll say FNAF 2 by far is one of the best games because of how they did it. Every other one to me has had problems. And design-wise, I noticed it, but guess what? I overlooked it because it was liked, it was useful, and it looks good. Now for once I'm actually playing a FNAF game, and for once the fans are pissed about it. This is where I'm confused. I actually chose to play a FNAF game, and you guys hate it. What, am I not allowed to play FNAF series? Am I just not allowed to download it from now on? Because that's what it looks like. Now, I'm just saying this about the whole fans thing because you guys don't realize how strong of an impact the fans have on the game. And
I mean, just look at what happened. Scott saw that everyone hated this game, and then he takes it off of Steam.
Mhm.
I mean, it's kind of as simple as that. That's how powerful the fandom is. And when it's a particularly loud and aggressive fandom as the FNAF fandom, they kind of make themselves known. I mean, they really do. And it's unfortunate.
yeah. Now I will say that I will address the two things that are fair. Yes, character pages I do agree should existed. I mean, you brought up the fact that if you played this, you probably wouldn't be able to tell what moves they did. Like I said, I figured out from the colors. But even still, when you get a new character, it would be nice to see what moves they do. It would be nice to see what moves anybody does. Recently, I was watching GT Live, and they were looking for their characters that did unscrew. I couldn't even remember which ones did unscrew, and that was because I didn't care. I just used moves. But the other thing that I really think this game needed, and in general this is probably it, a demo.
You say that, but I kind of disagree with the fact that it needs a... Because if there was a demo out, I'm not sure what the demo would be. Maybe it could use a demo, but I think releasing it as is fine.
Mhm.
I see no problem in releasing a game without a demo.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. A demo does help, but I don't think it's necessary. I mean,
The way that's
because this is so radically different, I think maybe this could have used a demo more than the other FNAF games, where they would release them with a demo, and it would kind of meant nothing because almost all the FNAF games are just about the same game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, the reason I said it just probably needed a demo is when I read the thing about why Scott took it down and why he wanted to post the game, it was just because he really wanted to show what he had done. Naturally, that just means put out a demo, dude. Just put out a demo. You don't even have to demo that much. You have like 8 worlds in this game, maybe 6. I don't know the number anymore. You could literally just put them in one world, seal them off from everywhere else, which is not that hard to code. And then when the game fully comes out, all those areas are unlocked. And the part that's true, every person has bought your demos from FNAF. I think FNAF 2 and up.
Yeah, I mean,
so it's not like they're gonna get mad, and it's not like you're. I'm gonna be mean to Metal Gear Solid for a minute. It's not like you're selling your demo for $40.
I think there probably would have been a worse reaction, though, if there was a demo. I think the reaction probably would have been worse, where people would, and the game, I don't think the game would be what it is now. I mean, like I said, I look at this game now, and I see this fun-looking, kind of just goofy RPG, and that's kind of what I want. And then, if there was a demo, people would have been like, what the fuck is this?
Mm-hmm.
This isn't what I want. And
it could have been worse.
I think a demo would have done more harm than good.
Yeah. Like I said, it's
a matter of preference, though.
Yeah. So, in all, like we're addressing, there are problems with this game that don't exist. The bigger problems, like I've noticed, is just sometimes my characters just disappear, and that just might be my computer in general.
Yeah, I mean, gameplay-wise, the game seems to be running fine and solid. I don't see any drops in frames on this thing. I mean, because I look at the screen, and there's so many things happening all at one time, and you're not losing frame rates at all, and everything looks fine. Like, I used the word garish, and the game is kind of garish and colorful. But that's the style of the game, though.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and I mean, even the environments look good. Everything looked polished in this game. There was legitimately nothing wrong. And now, as I was... I've been recording this like multiple times, so this just tells you how much I've been trying to actually get you guys to hear my opinion. But the biggest thing that I'm afraid of is what's going to happen when it comes back out. Because I know Scott's not going to drop the game. The reason why is because if he drops it, that's going to be sad. I don't care if the next version that comes out is terrible, because guess what? Release the damn game and just release it because you want to release it. If you guys have ever read his fucking story of how FNAF even came to be, you guys should have accepted this game with a fucking grain of salt. I'm sorry, but the guy even addressed how FNAF came to be, and everybody just... This is the thing about me being pretty much in a few months going to be a developer. I don't want to be the guy who creates so many games and just one game fucking ruins my entire career. That should never happen.
I mentioned Scott making games for the fandom because he does seem to genuinely want to do it for the fandom, but you can't let that ruin. Can't let it run your life. I mean, you kind of have to do things you want to do. I'm gonna use probably my favorite game developer, Hideo Kojima, as an example where he does do it for the fans, but he is also doing what he wants to do. I'm sure you guys all remember when Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pains finally came out. I was pretty excited when that game came out. I had fun with it. It's not the greatest game ever made, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's not great. In fact, I do have quite a lot of problems with Phantom Pains. And all I know that's so horrible. It's the last Metal Gear. It's the last one with Kojima. Guess what? I know. And that's why I kind of took it with some salt, though, because I'm like, well, this is his last one, and he did do some fun things with it, but I mean, he did what he wanted, and I think that's one of the probably the most beautiful thing about FNAF World, where he did what he wanted. He did, and he made something so radically different because he wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is, and people didn't want that. And it's killing him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's just like, I really think, in general, a lot of people need to take a step back and look at what Scott really created in FNAF World, and actually, like, give the game another chance. Everybody owns this game. I'm sorry. Steam may have taken it away, but I still own the game. And I'm probably going to play it. And who knows, I might play it for my live stream or play it for our channel. But guess what? If I do, I'm going to play it until they probably update it, and then who knows? It might be different. But the thing that I really want, reason why I'm bringing up the fact of like how fans can destroy it, is I actually have another Enlightenment planned. And this Enlightenment was supposed to be my very first one. It was supposed to be the one to introduce what these were. And to see that a game overpowered an Enlightenment that I had planned, that just tells you how much I wanted to do this one more, because this one relates a lot to the next one. And when you guys see the next Enlightenment, you guys will understand exactly what I'm addressing when it comes to fans ruining not only a game, but a franchise. But that'll be for the next video. So if you guys like what you saw, like, comment, subscribe. If you guys have any disputes, any information, anything you want to even talk about, like I said, there's a comment section down there. Go ahead. I want people to fill that up with whatever they think. If they hate me and Mr. P, go ahead. Write as much as you want, because guess what? We're not going to change our opinions because you guys did. I'm sorry.
I'm not Scott.
I didn't want to say that. But
it really is as simple as that. I mean, you guys may be able to change his opinion. Not even change his opinion, but may be able to force him into doing something like that. But you're not going to force us into doing something like that.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. Also, be sure to check out my channel, plug.
yes, our channels will all be in the description below. So if you guys like what you saw, just come back for the next video. This is Christian signing out.
Goodbye, everyone.
And continue being an Eonic star. Never stop going.